guys, it's Claris, and I am so thrilled to announce this new series over here on YouTube based off my book, Paint 50 Watercolor Nature. So this book is geared towards beginners and also seasoned artists, and the whole point of this book is to show you how to paint 50 elements while also showing you how to get started with watercolor and going over all the basic techniques of watercolor so you can better acquaint yourself and grow in your journey. But then also taking time for you to sit down and flip through the book, pick one item that you want to paint, sit down, spend 15 minutes, maybe even less, maybe more, depending on how much time you have, and just go with the flow. So I hope you're as excited for this book as I am. Feel free to order it online. It is available online over Amazon and a couple of other online stores as well. I've listed all of that in the description of this video, so check it out. And now let's get started with our tutorial. So in this video, we are exploring Paint 50 Watercolor Nature, my book, where I show you how to paint 50 different elements. And we're going to be focusing in on painting this little guy right there. Also instructions in the book. So we're going to follow along, and in 5 simple instructions, we're going to get a cute little bumblebee. So let's get started. Now, most of the elements in this book do not have or require a base drawing. This one is there because this is a beginner-friendly book. So for those who are not very comfortable painting with just no base drawing, here's a basic sketch. So I've got a pencil handy for that. We're going to be drawing this together. And then for our brushes, I am a Princeton ambassador and I absolutely love these brushes. I'm using them dominantly throughout this whole book. I've got the Neptune number 6 and the Heritage number 3, and sometimes I've even swapped a number 3 for the Velvetouch number 4. Now for colors, I'm going to be using the colors that I listed over here. So I've got black, I've got Payne's Gray, and then I have a light yellow and a dark yellow. Now I'm not using the exact same colors, and I am using my Daler-Rowney set of watercolors, and I've just taken out the key colors that we're going to be using to get this cute little bumblebee here. I want to encourage you to use whatever colors you have on hand, but if you are interested in any of the products I'm using over here, I have listed them in the description below. So feel free to check that out. And for paper, last but not least, I'm going to be using my Strathmore watercolor paper. I'm going to start off by doing a rough sketch of this little guy here at the top. So we're going to start off by doing an inverted C, kind of like this, and then we're going to curve the edges and kind of like almost create like a cashew nut shape. And I'm kind of going light so that these don't show once we start painting. Now, once I have this, I'm sectioning off this top portion because that's going to be the head. We're then going to do another section that's going to be the first layer of yellow. Then we're going to do another one. This is going to be black. And because there's a curve, this one's going to be a little bit smaller. So we've got the black head, yellow, another black, one more yellow, pulling that downward like this. And keep an eraser handy in case you need to take off any additional marks. So I'm just taking this eraser and kind of pressing down and lifting so that these marks are not very, very dark and will not show through with my watercolor. Okay, so that's that. Now, once this is done, let's make sure we can see our lines. And then I'm drawing in my wings. So for the wings, I'm just doing something like this. And then we're going to overlap the same shape and do something like that. Okay, now the little antenna over the heads, just 2 little antenna at the top, and then we're doing a little bit at there, And then more over here for the little feet. Okay, so that's pretty much the whole drawing. Now we can go on to painting. So instruction number 1 is using your number 4 or your number 3, we're going to mix a little bit of coal black in a 30-70 ratio, roughly paint every alternate stripe. So we're starting with the head, that's going to be black. We're starting with that, we're alternating, and then at the bottom as well. Okay, so we're going to start by mixing some of this. So I've got my black here, and 30-70 essentially means we're mixing it in a fashion where there's more water and less color. And this simply means we're going to be building up on the intensity of the color, because it's easier to start light and then add more as opposed to the other way around. All right, so here we go. I'm going to start by painting the top head. Then we're doing this portion right here. We're alternating. I'm going to get a little bit of water and pull this down. And then I believe we need to have one more section here. And I feel like I don't have that additional one. So here we go. I'm just creating one more. And now once this is done, we're going to get some darker blacks directly from our color cake, and we're just going to drop it in here. So this is the black right here. So we're mixing a darker version. I'm just going to get it directly from here, and then we're dropping it in while these areas are damp. So I like to start from the edges and then kind of do a very rough smoothening, for lack of a better term. And then I'm going to get a little bit of water because my brush feels a little bit thirsty. And I'm going to add more of this on the insides here just to get that nice dark to light. All right, perfect. So now we're going to allow this to dry just a little bit. And while that is drying up, what we're going to do is wash off our brush. And we just want to get a little bit of edges happening. So how do you get those little tiny fine hairs? You just get the tip of your brush with no clean brush, no water, and you're just lightly pulling out. And the best time to do it is while it is damp or wet, because you're kind of using the color from the section to pull it out. And you know how our bumblebees are super fuzzy, which make them cute and stand out from the rest of the bees. So that's what we're doing over here. We're just getting a little bit of that furry texture. And this is the best time to do that. So I like to pull from in out because the color is inside and you're pulling it outward. Just around the edges. Fine detail. So now once that is dried, we're going to go on to the next step. So our next step is step number 3. While the stripes are still damp, ensure the tip of the brush is pointed. We just did that. That's number 3. And then we're going to be using a clean number 4. So I've just washed off this brush, and we're painting the alternate stripes, which are going to be in the yellow. So I'm taking my light yellow first. Now just make sure that your base area is dried up before you do this, okay? I'm going to lightly add these strokes in, and I'm making sure that I don't wholly touch the area that I have just painted. And I'm kind of leaving a little bit of white space to give me that nice loose look. I'm going to get a little bit more of the yellow, and we're going to add some of that over here at the bottom. All right, so now this is done. I am now going to get a second version of the yellow. And before this dries up, we're going to drop it in around the edges. So I just want that nice orangey variation happening. And what I'm doing is I'm actually doing our little fuzzy strokes to kind of I'm kind of like killing two birds with one stone here. So I'm getting some of this orangey yellow in, and I'm also getting some of that furry effect. So dropping that color in, also kind of making sure I'm not completely covering all the yellow base that we added in. So now we get a nice little blend. Number 4, we're going to get more of the black, and I'm continuing to use my number 3. It looks like maybe I'm not using number 6 at all in this. So number 3, it's damp. It doesn't have a ton of water. I'm going to get a nice dark black happening here. And we're going in to paint the little antenna at the top. Now, if you are a beginner and you're still struggling with brush control, I would suggest using like a graphic pen if you're super fussy about how thick your lines show up. Brush control comes with time and practice, so do not be deterred if you feel like yours are not thin enough. It takes a little bit of time. Just be patient with yourself, have some grace, and you should be good. So those are my little guys. So now we're washing this off. We're then going to be getting a diluted version of our Payne's Gray. You can also use a diluted version of the black, and we're going to paint the base here. So this is my Payne's Gray. I'm going to get some of that. Just going to mix it off to the side here. And I'm getting about like maybe a 20-80%. And then we're just painting this bottom. We're going to use this same color for the wings. And now you guessed it, we're going to be doing that fuzzy little textured effect for this as well. So I'm going to get a little bit of that Payne's Gray here. And I'm just going to start by doing little tiny dabs around the edges. Now I know it looks dark right now, but trust me, once it dries up, it won't be as dark because washing off my brush, now it's just damp. It's a clean damp brush. I'm going to lightly mix this color in because there's a lot of water happening in this bottom portion here. So it's going to be a lighter than what the top portion looks like, okay? And now we have our cute little base area for this. And now it's the wings. So taking my leftover Payne's Gray that I have there, I have a very light version. I just added one more dab of color in it. What I'm first going to do is do a very faint coverage of one wing. And then what I need you to do is allow this to dry for just a bit before we go in and do the next wing. During this time, what you can also do is get just a tiny bit of your Payne's Gray. And because this area is damp, you can just lightly kind of edge along the wing here. And this is just kind of giving it a very light outline. Nothing too dark. Now I know I went a little bit darker because I got the color directly from the color cake, but you can always take a clean damp brush and just kind of push along the lines to kind of lighten it up a bit. Okay, so I've waited for it to dry just a bit. I think it's maybe a tad bit damp, and I'm okay with proceeding with that sort of dryness. So I'm going to get some of that leftover Payne's Gray, and I'm painting in my last or second wing. And feel free to go over that whole wing even though number 1 kind of covers the first wing area, this is pretty much going to give us a beautiful layering effect. So these wings, that portion where they overlap is just going to be darker. And that's what we want to give that overlapping effect. All right, so I'm going to get that leftover black that I have instead of getting color from my color cake. And I'm just adding that to the edges of this last, or the second wing rather. I don't know why I'm saying last, as if there's more than 2. Just dropping some of that in at the edge. Something like that. I like to make sure my brush is clean before I do any kind of blending in. So paper towel on the side is always handy. And then one more time, I think I'm gonna add, want to make sure that this area is nice and prominent. And then we are done. So this is the whole tutorial in its entirety from the book. Couple of things that I would mention. So in the book, our bumblebee is a lot darker because I used a darker consistency. So if you feel like you want the black areas to be more prominent, you totally can just go back in and dab a little bit more of the black. So I'm going to get some of the black because I got some really nice variations of texture going on here, but I'm still going to go in and just do a little bit of dabbing to get some areas to be a lot darker within these dark areas here for my bumblebee. And then others, I'll just kind of have that base color peeping through. But for the most part, it would be nice to have a beautiful contrast between the body of the bumblebee and then the wings plus the little base here for it. Okay, so this is just my way to kind of increase that contrast. Contrast is key, and I like to make sure that certain areas really jump out a lot more. So this is where you kind of use your little hone in on your creative intuition and see what works best for you. All right, so that's it. This is the lesson of the bumblebee.